Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us in the latest edition of That Sports Show. I'm your host, Benedict Odita, and this week we'll be reviewing the fourth week of the NFL season, as well as recapping the start of the NHL preseason. Afterwards, we'll take a look at the MLB playoff standings, followed by an interview with Rider Baseball manager Barry Davis. Lastly, we will take some time to talk with sports editor Chris Brooks from the Rider News. All of this and more coming up on That Sports Show. Here's Taylor Godfrey with the NFL Week 4 recap.
On Sunday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field. The game was closely contested as an unforeseeable comeback unfolded throughout the fourth quarter. After backup quarterback Mike Glennon took over for the Tampa Bay offense, things started to look better and better for struggling Buccaneers. On their final drive, within the last minute of play, Glennon threw a deep pass to wide receiver Louis Murphy for a 41-yard gain, putting the Buccaneers in the red zone. Shortly after, within 33 seconds left of the game, Glennon threw a touchdown pass to receiver Vincent Jackson to win the game 27-24, upsetting Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Featured on the Sunday night game, the Dallas Cowboys played at home against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints were coming off a win against the Vikings, but the Dallas Cowboys showed to be a different team. The run game of DeMarcus Murray against the struggling Saints defense contributed to their success. Murray ran for 149 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. The Cowboys were not only successful on their ground game, but Tony Romo showed up to play as well. Throwing for 262 yards, Romo connected to his receivers for 3 touchdowns, putting his team ahead by an insurmountable margin. Ultimately, the Cowboys prevailed with a score of 38-17 against the Saints. The Kansas City Chiefs hosted the Monday night game against the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. The game was expected to be a head-to-head battle, but the results were quite different than expected. The Chiefs dominated the Patriots on defense for most of the game, putting Tom Brady on his heels. The turnovers also led to conversions of points, but overall, the team effort displayed by the Chiefs proved to be effective and allowed them to get into a winning rhythm. Bill Belichick's comments were mostly negative after the game, saying his team needed to do a better job. In the end, it was a blowout, with the Kansas City Chiefs emerging victorious against the Patriots with a score of 41-14.
A lot of tension in the 49ers locker room amongst the players and head coach Jim Harbaugh. Many of the veteran thoughts and complaints have been heard by Harbaugh. On the plane, on the way to games, he does not let the players listen to music nor play cards. Little things, yes, but these things are beginning to get underneath the skin of the players. We look forward to seeing what happens as the season continues. Raiders give head coach Dennis Allen the big boot. They fire him after a 0-4 start to the 2014-2015 season. Tuesday, September 30th, 2014, they made the offensive line coach, Tony Sparano, interim head coach. Let's see if this can be the turning point in the season for the Oakland Raiders. We now take you to the NHL preseason with Taylor Godfrey.
Thank you, Ben. Recently, hockey fans have been back at it with the start of the NHL preseason. At several neutral site venues, teams have been going head-to-head against one another, preparing for the regular season starting October 8th. Leading the Atlantic Division, the Toronto Maple Leafs are 4-2-1 and have scored 21 goals since the start of the preseason. They are one team to notice in this year's race to the Stanley Cup. Another Eastern Conference leader in the Metropolitan Division are the Columbus Blue Jackets. The record is currently 5-1-0 with 19 goals scored for and 12 against, demonstrating their defensive strengths this year. On top of the Western Conference's Central Division is the Dallas Stars. With a record of 4-2-0, they have scored 21 goals for, but have let in 23 against. This could pose a potential threat to their regular season, needing to tighten up defensively or look at other options in goaltending. Ahead of the Pacific Division are the Arizona Coyotes, possessing a record of 4-0-2. They are certainly one team that the fans should look for in the NHL playoffs this year. Their season last year has led them to a playoff run, and it seems as though this year the Coyotes are even more of a formidable opponent than last year.
Thank you, Taylor, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Leadership is getting players to believe in you. If you tell a teammate you're ready to play as tough as they're able to, you better go out there and do it. Players will see right through a phony, and they can tell when you're not giving it all you've got. These are the words of Larry Bird. Leadership. Pass it on.
Easton Sports Company is proud to introduce one of our newest hockey sticks, the Easton Octane. Rip shots with high velocity and stick handle with finesse. Take down opponents with extreme precision. Purchase the Octane and much, much more at our website, www.eastonhockey.com.
Welcome back, and next up is our MLB playoff overview with Steve Sika.
Hello again, sports fans. This is Steve Sika with your baseball update. This week we're heading to the postseason with plenty of drama already. Let's go to Kansas City, where the Royals hosted their first playoff game in 29 years. Let's look at the action in the sixth, where Brandon Moss of the A's throws a 3-run homer. The center gives the A's a 5-3 lead. The A's would be up 7-6 in the ninth and just 2 outs away from advancing when Gerard Dyson steals third and does a little dance too. Then Aoki drives him home with a sac fly. Oakland, though, wasn't done. They grabbed the lead in the 12th. The Never Say Die Orioles tied the game again. And then All-Star Salvador Perez came up looking to end the long night.
Pass forward into left field. The Kansas City Royals are walking off into the ALDS.
What a classic in KC. Royals have faced the Angels in the American League Division Series. The next night from Pittsburgh, a very lively crowd was hoping to see their Pirates beat the Giants and move on to the NLDS. But in the fourth, Brendan Crawford sent the dagger to the hopes of everyone in the Steel City with a grand slam into the right field stands, giving the Giants a 4-0 lead. Bumgarner would pitch a great game and even got some defense from the Kung Fu Panda as he flips over the dugout. The Giants easily took care of the Pirates 8-0. Lastly, a bit of history. Those Giants and the Nats played Game 2 of the National Division Series on Saturday night, and the game went into 18 innings, the longest playoff game in history. The Giants tied the game in the ninth down to their last out. Sandoval rips a 1-out double into left field to tie the game. It would stay that way until the 18th inning when Brendan Belt drilled a home run deep in the right field, and the Giants would hang on to take a stunning 2-0 lead over the favored Washington Nationals.
With more of the postseason, Steve Sika sat down with Riders baseball manager Barry Davis to discuss the upcoming series and compare their playoff picks. Let's have a look.
Now we have the 8 teams set for the playoffs. Who's your pick for the World Series? Start with the American League.
Well, I mean, last night's game, the Royals won in 11 with the home run, but you would have to say the Angels are the favorite. I mean, personally, I'm pulling for the lower market teams, the Orioles and the Royals. But if you had to, if someone today, I would still say the Angels. They can win tonight and win the games. They have some pitch and they have some offense. They're pretty good.
I feel like the Royals might be the one team that could be the most dangerous for the Angels because they're playing with house money this whole time.
Well, I know a lot of people in the Royals organization, and they operate with a shoestring budget. And when you play like they've played, they've got momentum at the end of the year, and when you win a game like you won against Oakland, you get momentum, and I think they believe, and last night was indicative of that with the Moustakas home run. They stayed in the ball game, made a couple nice defensive plays. So yes, they have some momentum, and if they can win this game, they can put the Angels, who I think the best team in the American League, down 2-0 and go home for 2 games and have a chance to wrap it up. So yes, they're a team that certainly is up and coming, and I'm pulling for them.
Welcome back, folks, and now here is Steve Sika with the guest from Rider News.
I'm here with Chris Brooks, sports editor at the Rider News. He's going to tell me some of his playoff predictions, too. Good evening, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. So, playoffs are underway. The 2 wildcard games are over. Who are your World Series picks for 2014?
Well, it's a really hard choice, but I'm going to have to go with National League. I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals. And for the American League, I'm going to have to go with the Angels.
Interesting. Why the Nationals? Why the Angels?
I think the Nationals just have the best team up and down the board in the National League, rotation-wise, and their batting order. It's American League caliber in the National League. I don't think anyone else can say that in this National League playoffs. I think they're just built to win the World Series, and I think they need to this year. And for the Angels, I just think they're an offensive powerhouse, and I think they can score a lot of runs, and it's going to be hard to keep up with them in the playoffs this year.
Thank you, Steve. That's all for this week's edition of That Sports Show. From all of us here, I'm Benedict Odita, and we'd like to thank you. Tune in next time for our overview of NFL Week 6 and details on the World Series. and much, much more. We'll see you next time.